So I'm knocking doors, but what has been very frustrating to me is that our national press, the Philadelphia Inquirer, refuses to even use my name.
Maybe they don't know about you.
No, they know because I sent them my press release.
Maybe it got lost.
Maybe on Twitter they don't know me. I've tagged them all on Twitter, and the only thing I've heard about
maybe they didn't see your tag.
But you know what? The Northeast Times has put my name in their paper. The Lehigh Valley Times has put my name in there and has had someone publish a letter on my behalf.
Who have you tagged at the Inquirer?
Tamari, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name.
Jonathan Tamari. Yeah.
Yes, and then there's a female. She refuses to acknowledge my name. Alexandra Khalil, Alex Kahlil for U.S. Senate, 2022. I am a proud counselor of Jenkintown, representing a wonderful borough and wonderful citizens of Jenkintown, and out of respect to them, don't worry about me, out of respect to the people that I represent in our borough, hey, give them a nod. And I'm a progressive Democrat. I support raising the minimum wage to a living wage. It's disgraceful. No one can live on $7.25 or $7.50 an hour. And especially if you're a waiter or a waitress, how do you live on $2 an hour? And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get tips. I believe in expanding Medicare for all. And I support Senator Sanders and Senator Markley's bills to start at 60 and to include dental care, eyewear, and hearing aids, as well as Senator Markley's bill that would allow people to buy into Medicare through their employer. So the reason I support Medicare for all is that I'm a strong President Obama supporter. I loved President Obama, and I supported the Affordable Care Act. But what we saw when the pandemic hit was how many people were without health insurance. And it's disgraceful. In 1941, Americans went off, our young men and women went off and fought fascism in Europe and in Asia and in Japan. We won the war, we rebuilt Europe and Japan, and they all have universal health care systems, Green New Deals, and negotiate their drug costs. When the pandemic hit, we were the only country in the Western world that did not have a universal health care plan. And people were hospitalized, had $1 million health bills. That is unacceptable. The only way really to know what is on the minds of people is to start knocking on doors. And as I drive through the communities, I stop and I say, okay, I'm going to take this block, and I start knocking doors. I've done it here. I've done it in Northeast Philadelphia. I've gone up to Schuylkill County and Lebanon County and spoken to folks. And it's been awesome. One of the things that I'm running on is on human rights and being proud of who you are and where you come from and what you believe in. I'm the daughter of Palestinian immigrants. And I was honored to be asked to speak up there by the Schuylkill County Democrats. And I told them my personal story of my family. My dad and mom are immigrants from the West Bank, Palestinian immigrants. And after I spoke, a young woman came up to me and started crying. And she said, I'm Lebanese American. And since September 11th, I haven't told anyone of my ancestry. And she goes, you touched me. And I think that's so sad that she felt the need to hide her ancestry. No one should hide who they are. You should be comfortable who you are, proud of who you are, where you come from. I'll stand up for human rights. I won't tolerate anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-LGBT. I won't anything against anyone, any group, any anti-Christian rhetoric that happens around the world. I won't tolerate that, and I will be your ally. I sit on Jenkintown Borough Council, and the reason I'm making this move is I see at the local level, as all my colleagues on council, all councils across Pennsylvania can tell you, we at the local level see what happens or suffering from the bad policies of the Republican Party at the federal and state level. Whether they're attacking our schools, whether they're not properly funding our infrastructure, our issues with the fact that our police departments take over 40% of our budgets, not more. We love our police, we respect our police, but we need to reform our police departments across the state. We need to sit back and rebuild our schools. As the daughter of Palestinian immigrants, we always were aware of the underdogs in the world, and to stand up for those who are suppressed. And but really what got me activated as an activist was my son and I were having a conversation in 2007 about who we were going to vote for president. And my son stopped me. He said, "No, Mom, I want you to take a look at this guy, Barack Obama." And I go, I said, "He's the guy I'm voting for." And so I did. And that started my road to activism, because I got involved with this campaign and went door to door, and I met so many people. One of the first people I met was an elderly woman. I was walking with a gentleman named Larry Curry, who was our former state representative. And he and I knocked on the door of an elderly woman, and she didn't even say hello. She went straight to Larry and she said, "Can you help me? Can you please help me? This is Elkins Park." She said, "My husband suffered a stroke. We're in our 80s and we're running out of money. We can't pay our property taxes." I was to hear that similar story from 2007 till to this day. Seniors who can't pay their property taxes. Seniors who are afraid not to have a home. Seniors who can't afford their medicines. Families who've had children die due to drug overdose and suicide. So all the suffering that I've seen. I'm an IT professional. I'm a quality person for computer systems in the pharmaceutical industry. I work at Merck. A proud employee there. And one of the things that I've noticed, I started at IT in the very beginning of the industry, and when we were doing the punch cards, and now we're doing what do they call cloud technology. And what's most important is that everything's about making sure that we have whatever systems you put in, that it focuses on quality, patient safety, product quality, and data integrity. And so I'm really proud to be part of that and to make sure that our computer systems are always meet industry standards and FDA regulations. As an attorney, I've had my own practice. I went to Temple Law School, and also I should say Temple undergrad and Drexel master. And right out of law school, I started my own practice and did a lot of volunteer work. And so I've been proud to say that I've helped children with a child with autism get services, and families with children, adult children with disabilities, get guardianship so they can make decisions for their disabled child. I'm running against, John Fetterman, Valerie Arcouche, I believe Sharif Street, Malcolm Kenyatta, and there is some talk of Conor Landry. These are all good people.
Why would you serve us better than one of these very good people?
Why? Because I'm a local official and a local activist who knows what's going on door to door in the homes of Pennsylvanians. I've gone across the state for Pennsylvanians and met Pennsylvanians. I've spoken to Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, you name it, I've spoken to them. And I have to tell you, I've been welcomed on every home, and people tell me stories, many that'll break your heart. I've stopped at a door where I met a woman. I had met her daughter earlier and told her, hey, come to get out the vote. And the mother answered the door and said, "My daughter is dead." She lives with me, that woman. A perfect stranger, I'm hugging her. And she's telling me she can't go on living. And I'm telling a perfect stranger, no, you have to live for your other daughter. I spoke to a woman on the phone who told me her 11-year-old died of bone cancer. I spoke to a mother who followed me in Northeast Philadelphia to thank me for supporting a candidate, Michael Doyle, who was talking about drug addiction. Drug addiction is destroying this state and this country. The opioid epidemic, the heroin epidemic. Learned about heroin epidemic up in Tamaqua, the coal miners. People told me the same thing is going on there. I've met people who told me about food insecurity in their home. That, I've got some tuna fish. I told you earlier about a woman who told me they were running out of money. I've met that. And these people all live with me. I want to fight privatization across the state, and in particular, in this part of the state, we're seeing privatization of our sewer systems. And what essentially is happening is because towns and municipalities and boroughs are strapped with cash, they sell their sewer systems to Aqua or American Water or whatnot, and on the promise that, they'll fix the sewer. Well, then what happens is it's almost like a payday loan. So instead of you taking out a bond and fixing it and then charging just a rate to you as a local municipality, which is what we did in Jenkintown, others have decided to sell it to Aqua, and then Aqua then adds more fees to it. So people are getting nickeled and dimed and finding themselves having much higher rates. So I'm against privatization of our sewers, water. Unfortunately, our waters have been, drinking water have been privatized. But and our roads, we're seeing that. So I am really against the privatization of our utilities, roads, sewers, and that's a big issue for us.
Where does the issue stand now? Is it coming up for a vote?
No, right now we're not going to vote for it. I did speak up against it, and I've been assured that we will not. It's not an issue in Jenkintown. I'm proud to say our sewers are in great shape. We've taken good care of it. We've also put in an ordinance that before a person sells their home, they have to do an inspection to make sure the buyer is not getting a raw deal, so to speak, of and because we've seen that across this area. People need to know that in Philadelphia, Delaware County, Chester County, Montgomery County, our sewers are dilapidated, and you'll see sinkholes. That is because of lack of investment in our infrastructure.